series.
Absolutely, and I'm looking forward to see whether their rights can continue right here in the International Online Cup, because it could well do so as we get ready to jump straight into our first map up. Of course, ONYX going to the T-side start against Infinite on ONYX's own map pick. Ancient decided by this team, and they'll get straight started with a pistol round to see whether they can put that first up and the early start on the lead.
It seems to be the lean over to the B side. Great info play from Cementi coming through from that city spawn area. So for Infinite, they're going to have an idea. They're playing out for the B side and get that first pick for it.
There's the kill on Zoot Spawn. They're going to get caught first and foremost. CT side starts out, and they're going to continue facing around the corner into that B side. Plant should be secured, but more frags are pouring in for Infinite. Raga gets another good kill back on Impulse, and is traded back by JR at the very least, but Dimk and Zoot's going back in with the trades of their own right. Chanky and Cementi, last couple of players left as Dimk can make it a 2 versus 2. Bomb is still to sight. Chanky's still looking for his way back here. Can't quite seem to see them.
And now it just comes down to the two Serbians to try and get this crossfire together. Infinite Gaming had all of the advantages in terms of the information. Dimky getting a couple of kills, looking back out to that ramp position, looking to try and take another fight. Even Chanky starting to rotate away.
And back over towards that A side, just in case the rotation is in, especially with Cementi being back here at B lane. He's going to hear the bomb plant, so we'll call back in the rotations. They might not be ready for him to make his way back here. Davs going to go over to the other side. Cementi being careful. Very slow, very careful from Infinite here. They haven't got themselves a defuse kit, so they've got to be careful not to go down and try not to concede anything in that respect. Dimke having his eyes set below, taps forward, Glock takes his fight, and Dav will also lose out alongside Dimke going down very early into this. So Infinite will gain the retake and the pistol round.
It just comes down to slowing it, being quite silent, and catching the look away from Dimke up into the backlines, and from there, they can just start peeking on each other's contact, get that defuse forward, and really just being outread in that round. Dimke had a chance and an advantage to try and bring that back. Didn't quite happen all the way, so the retake comes through. ONYX could be buying it up, knowing that they got a bomb plan and a fair bit of damage coming into that last round. Instead, they want to eco quite lightly.
Yeah, hand cannons are out for them, so they're still kind of like a half-buy basis without it actually being a half-buy. Damage can be done most certainly here. The headshots, if they line up correctly, would do well for ONYX. Infinite, recognizing that the same, will just set themselves up towards position here into the main entrance. Chanky's watching out from mid. There's no one watching main directly. I guess there's one player back at CT spawners looking down A lane, keeping his eyes on just in case. It's going to be a very passive angle here from the CTs.
Yeah, very silent overall for ONYX. A double play in from Cave. Don't see that very often. Cementi just very deep up on this A site itself, dealing with that first player. Damage has been done onto Dav, and you'd have to imagine now for ONYX, it's just going to come down to how they can sell the fake.
Yeah, killing the first man easy. Follow-up tags up. Less than a minute to go. The bomb has basically committed towards the A site at this stage. It's so far pushed up in main. It's all a case of timing of when they go for that push out. Smoke in against Chanky's position will keep him suppressed and draw their attention back over towards the donut angle. Mendy's still watching past the signpost. 3 players here to try and overwhelm Chanky. If they can get past him, if they can get that kill, then they could draw distraction and get that bomb to cross the site. A bomb plant bonus would be everything to ONYX here.
You've got to imagine getting the path out to the A side is going to be relatively easy. Chanky only finding one. That's going to bring the rotation back. Bomb should go down pretty easily.
AUG gets back towards Temple, sees them coming in here, spray through on towards 1. A kill can come back for Impulse. Now secure that bomb plant will be his main focus here. The SMG's making his way in for Edim. Oh, Impulse actually did get the bomb plant in, so extra money for ONYX here with damage being done. It's actually a very respectable round.
They'll be thrilled with how much impact they were able to find. A couple of kills in a bomb plant when you don't invest that heavily at all. They'll be in a good position going forward to try and reset the CTs, get those rifles in, even get an AWP out for Impulse if he wants it. You've got to think as well that for ONYX, when you have a look at their track record, they're 4-0 on HLTV officials on Ancient, and the one that speaks volumes to me is beating AGO about a month ago in the Iron War Grand Prix event, because AGO, since the introduction of Ancient into the map pool, they have been one of the best tier 2 teams on this map, and ONYX have actually got a map over them and Skate on it.
I was actually looking at the Skate result thinking that was a bit more poignant, but you are right about AGO. Both teams, both results are massive, and they have been close here. I mean, they've only seen 16-11 and 16-12 wins for ONYX. Infinite have 1 map on record, which went to overtime and was lost out. So they have proven they can take it toe-to-toe against squads, but even then, I don't know if those are the best squads to really measure against. Infinite. Pressure is against them. ONYX have a buy up here, where they can start to take real control of this game. They are playing out towards that mid position. Eden's got that Famar set up here in towards Cave, expecting someone to make their way up towards lane. But again, it's all in the mid default.
Yeah, very slow and carefully prodding for ONYX out in their mid take. Eden starting to think about making an aggressive move, re-smoke out to that cheater entrance. Getting just under a minute left on the clock, and Infinite still yet to take a contact. Finally, Dav is actually going to deal with the first Araga.
Good start. Damage done to JR, of course, down to 3 points of HP. Right back over towards that B-side play. Eden's going to try to catch him off at the edge of the smoke. No gap there as it will fade away. He'll wait here. Footsteps call him back up to the B-side directly. 30 seconds. ONYX are loving to play this slow start of the game. DimK will check the corner. His back's going to be turned. He does check in and somehow wins that fight. No right to be alive in that one. Zoots can get a couple back, but ONYX responds. A 3-on-2 as the bomb will go down.
I'm lost for words. I don't know how he wins that fight. I don't know how that whiff comes through, and that could just be the difference maker. Get them over the line. 3-on-2 advantage. Flash out from the back lane. DimK looking back into the cheater entrance. It is back to a 2v2, and now Bondic falls.
Well, Impulse alone with the AWP spray backed by Chanky, who makes it a double, and the defuse will come through for Infinite to make it a solid 3-0 start for the CT side. I mean, I say solid, but really, like 3 bomb plants for ONYX. They've done so much with so little.
Yeah, they'll still be frustrated with that, though, honestly, for the Serbians, because they gave themselves a great advantage winning out this fight in from Cheetah, and from there, they've got themselves a 3 versus 2. They should be able to just overwhelm on the bomb site itself, and it just does not happen in that sort of fashion at all. Great retake coming through from Infinite, just working together in the 2vx.
And kills found appropriate against players who were tagged up so early. Start on for them. And again, ONYX back up with all their primary weapons here. All the guns and the AKs out. The M4s will try to take face into mid and from the cave entrance. No T-side presence spotted. No kills can go their way.
Yeah, Eden thinking about making an aggressive walk forward out to that lane position from ramp itself. ONYX very, very passive on this T side, going back towards their mid takes. And for Infinite, they lost that first frag in the last round from Raga up into the Candles area, so they're not even pushing a player there.
There's JR with a frag on Chanky. Kill found against the man. Right set as JR moves up in against likes of Cementi. Set back here, straight through to the AK, gets his kill on towards one man. Trade on Dav is also good at 4 versus 3. AWP of Raga held back, going to continue looking on here. Flashes will keep him at bay. He is forced back for the retake here for Infinite.
You wonder if they actually go for this 3v4 situation. Money's not really there into the bank. The AWP from Raga is thinking to himself, if I can get a pick in quickly, we're going to go for it. They're running out of time.
And Zoots with a frag on, continue to face up for Raga. Bondic gets a responsive, looking away at the wrong time, so Eden can get his kill back, transfer towards Impulse, and it's all on DimK. Molotov towards the bomb plant position. He does get shut down by the AWP, smoke back on, and they'll have just enough time for this. The fuse kit is on them, and it will be a 4-0 for Infinite.
Okay, I'm getting thoroughly impressed by some of these retakes out from Infinite Gaming. That seemed another situation in which they shouldn't have any sort of chance in that. Great pick to come through from JR out to that donut entrance. Cementi on the site itself getting a 1-for-1 and then retaking the 3v4. M4's coming through, Eden doing as much damage as possible, and Raka just being able to support, get that smoke through, get the defuse on. ONYX, they've been tight and close with these rounds. They're yet to score on T-side.
Oh, Fraga. Hell of a kill for him. JR down. Orp straight in with the pick, not taking any real mercy, given no opportunities to really get his frag back. Him focusing for even more here. Nades are missed out, unfortunately. That one could have done some significant damage to the players over at Rab. But there could be enough to kill off Dav if it was landed correctly. 5-on-4 with the AK. Zoots watching for a bit more, seeing Bondic spraying through. Catching damage. No kills still. He keeps himself held away. We're playing anti-flash. Can win out that secondary fight. No, the spray goes so far awry.
Now for ONYX, they have to brute force their way back with the utility and peek out together to bring it into a 4v4 situation. And now just waiting for the CTs to make another play. They're going to aggress lane again.
Anki M4 wraps the corner, sees Dimk where he's at, burst fire, gets his kill. Dav can maintain a trade at least, but 3 on 3. Still even man standing, and no one's going to check the back of wood here. They will look towards it, but as Edom gets that kill, it comes in way too late, and the AWP swings out to try and support on Raga. Can't get a double. Bondik responds to him. Needs to get a 1 versus 3 clutch, however, that's not going to happen past the pistol. Edom closes it down, and Infinite, hell of a CT side out from them.
And they're putting on a good show, and they're playing with confidence. You can see the way the distraction are being pulled out over from that wood position, and the NWP just runs right through that smoke of Raga, knowing that he's got support on the side to make one of those aggressive plays. Just working with the information, dropping that bomb, and then Bondik's got to try and win a 1 versus 3. ONYX, very slow to start here on Ancient. Infinite Gaming putting on a good fight.
They are. It's looking wonderful for them. Timeout going to have to be taken. I can imagine this one is by ONYX here. Tactical in nature. Moments respite, I guess, to discuss where they're going to go with this, because they have not really had the best of moments. They've really struggled to get themselves started on this map. Their own map pick as well, a confident one for them. We looked at this thinking it might just well be a simple affair for them to maintain their confidence, but that's not been the case.
It's their best map in the pool, and so far it's looking very poor to come out for the ONYX side. Infinite Gaming doing their homework, coming in prepared. Even onto this B defense, they've got 3 players stacked up. This could just be the simple execution.
Nade on, damage done. Bondik tagged, flashes in, smokes down. Tech9 trying to wrap the corner, and Edom just going to line up 2. Zoots get his kill. Edom makes it a triple, and Raga burns 1 more player alive. 6-0 start. ONYX struggling to get into these sites here. Really struggling in general on T side.
Edom just holding the ground, holding the crossfire up into those backlines, just multi-frags continuing to come through from the M4s. ONYX not even getting a bomb plant in that last 6 rounds in a row coming through from the Romanians. And really yet to see them getting halted at all. Impulse going to be able to get the AWP out into the D side. This is a change we haven't really seen.
Rebuy on the guns back, ONYX. Facing an aggression from Zoots here. He's also going to see some changes in the CT line rather than waiting back to get killed off here at Cheetah. He's going to aggress ahead, take engagements. Not get any kills, though.
Yeah, it's showing that Infinite Gaming are there to keep pressing and to make sure they're always being able to put themselves in positions where they can take some early aggressive fights. Edom thinking about just walking around from that smoke, just spamming through. And for ONYX, not really getting any map control out from this A main area allows Raga with the AWP to press up very aggressively. They've got a single player, Cementi, out in Donut watching mid, so it just allows them to play 3 on B.
Molotov's in. Dav and Bondik will take their moves up. They're reloading just in case. Incendiary for Chanky. Also raring to receive. We'll put this one down towards Cheetah. I imagine to suppress those 2 players that are out there. Actually on towards the ramp control instead. He'll just take the engagement directly in a cave.
Raga actually opens up to JR. That's the lurk out from the A side being caught off. And ONYX are going to realize now, okay, they've probably got the info play of what's happening.
They forced so far forward on that front. Raga had to extend so far out of sight, and Impulse could extend out towards ramp to get Chanky to respond. But Cementi drops the bomb and drops his backup. Thurman, Dimk is going to try to see if he can fight against him, but time is being stalled for. The CTs know where that bomb is. And so long as they can just adjust against the B defensive, the A defensive will come back by default. And there's Dimk with his pick back. 10 seconds. The round's over. ONYX have got no time. A 7-0 start for Infinite. What's happened here?
Yeah, this is a surprise, because Infinite, they've only played Ancient once on a HLTV. That was against K23 in an overtime loss. They've played it a couple of times in their advanced season. They've had 1 win, or 2 wins and 1 loss. The only decent team that they've beaten is SJ. Other than that, it's a couple of teams I haven't heard of. So for Infinite, it's just showing that they've come into this game prepared. They're reading it really well. Just the way that Raga extends out from A main and catches off the lurk play of JR so early into the round, and they've just been solid. Run boost even coming through, doesn't quite find the connection.
Impulse will look for his own connection to the AWP. From Cheetah, damage done with the nades again towards Bondik, and Impulse Edom is so far pushed up here towards ramp. Will take some damage and take quite an amount of it. Could go falling if he's not careful. But that smoke back and rotates to maintain the 5v5.
Some more nades can go down to that ramp position when it comes. Impulse with the orb, thinking about making an aggressive duel. Got all his teammates to work with out from this lane position. Back out from the mid default. They've been successful with some of the opening duels out in mid.
Oh, the orb turning away at the wrong moment, allowing Impulse a chance to open up with a man advantage. And with Eden still being low, the trades on that B side are going to look pretty easy. Going a bit quicker here for ONYX to try and get themselves back into that B site. And indeed, Zoots is going to fall, leaving all onto Eden. Backup is on the way of Chanky. Or picked up for him. 5-on-3 advantage, though. ONYX hold all the cards.
Yeah, Eden is so low to try and defend out from this B side. Does get away with 1 kill. And Chanky with the orb is waiting for a gap in the smoke.
Almost lined up 2 trades from JR, and Eden's a known entity here. Needs that secondary man to get back in towards a backstab. Swing out, AUG does not last long. Cementing in a 1v3.
No, he can't really go for this at all, can he? 1v3 situation. Money is on a very fine line for a few of these players. Backline for the org. Jeez, he actually wants to try and go for this.
Give it a hand. Damage has been done to players in the back lines. Eventually a peek out from JR. Still gets his 2 dinks in, and that's going to be enough for ONYX to win their first.
And that's going to help get the ship going. Just get a start, be able to say, all right, it's been a difficult time. We haven't been able to be all that successful. Now we've got the first. They work with the mid pick. They trade out effectively on that B site. And Cementi didn't necessarily need to go for it. Raga is now going to be on an AWP. Cementi's going to be on a Deagle. And it's just desperation, maybe thinking that 1v3. Overconfidence, perhaps.
Perhaps it was. Now the focus comes up. The rebuy for Infinite. A lot of damage done thanks to that particular clutch scenario. Chanky can get Impulse to start things off. Great kill. The Cementi can't quite follow suit.
Yeah, you've got to wonder what Dippy's going to do with that orb, whether he just chucks it back over. Well, that's not even a possibility because they just get peeked in. Bondic does catch off Zoots, continuing to stay around for too long. Edom's hearing all these footsteps. They check his position. Out the left-hand side, can find a couple, and indeed he does. Just when ONYX find their first, they can't follow up. Infinite up to 8.
Wow, this is looking solid. Absolutely solid from Infinite. And we looked at ONYX as being the guys at the Dark Horse team that we want to see try and make a run towards that top 4. But they are making mistake after mistake. Still can't follow up. Infinite are punishing. Infinite are the ones that are looking great. A much more solid game for them. And again, on ONYX map pick. ONYX map pick, which they've won 4 times out of the 4 times they've played it. And Infinite don't even play this one at all. Dimk can open up against Cementi, at least find the opening start for ONYX in this particular round, but Raggar's there for a responsive. They might concede the A site. The retake is on, though.
They can still try and spam through the smoke, deny the bomb from going down. Chenky with the M4 out from Cheetah gets away with 1. Zoots is doing the same. They can't get the bomb down.
When the M4 comes up, Raggar and Zoots can clean up those last couple of kills in. ONYX trying to overextend, and the bomb does not get planted. No money bonus for them. Bit of a lopsided money state as a result. ONYX might still be on for a bye.
Yeah, they'll definitely buy it up going into the next round 11. Running out of room, really. I know that their T side is typically their strongest, so going into the second half, they do need to give themselves some breathing room. Their best map in the pool is coming to a halt. Rush tactic, something quicker.
Right out, Eden, incendiary on. Counter util, back nades involved, trying to do shout some damage towards that T-side line. And again, they are tagged pretty heavily. This buy-up, they're still seeing Pistol Team over hero double AK setup, and Raggar can deal with Dav and on Bondig. Trays back from JR to a 3 versus 3, and Zoot's going to get caught with util thrown out there. Switching to the AK at the wrong timing, and Dimk trying to look for Chanky. Swing on the AK, wins out the fight, and Cementi left alone in a 1v3. Another clutch for him.
Now, that's more like it for ONYX. Slightly looser. Bit more urgency with the aggression, and Cementi has now got to try and clutch a 1v3. Is hiding in the smoke for a moment. He's going to have a lot of players to deal with, and he's sandwiched off. He can't go forward. He can't go back to try and save. Whichever way he goes, you'd have to expect he's going to get caught off. Does catch that first player, Dimkey, and now ONYX know, okay, let's just play time.
Back turnables, Rab. There comes the spray. JR with a 3K, and ONYX with that second here. But now it comes back to the question of whether or not they can do what they couldn't do in their previous round win, which is follow it up. Real solid stuff again from ONYX, playing very fast and loose towards that site. A couple of good kills going their way. A couple of mistakes again being made by the Infinite side. The money is awkward for them off the back of that round loss, though, so whether or not there's really a buy on the table for them is a question, and actually it's the answer to that question is no.
Now, money reset because we go back and forth for a couple of rounds. JR just running down mid. This is proper quick again to come through for the Ukrainian. Out towards that donut entrance. They're not messing about.
Straight shot and a headshot. Dav going to try to look for another player back here towards main. Fragger has found a kill, meanwhile, over towards mid. The Molotovs in a Bondic. Looking for the next player out here. The bomb is in CT control by technicality, but it doesn't last much longer. Bondic gets those 2 kills. 6 points of HP, or 2 points of HP, I should say, here for Bondic. Dav will clean out the last player. That's without any further casualties for the ONYX side. 3 up now. Can still make it a 9-6 half, but the guns are back in for Infinite now.
Yeah, it's just all about being able to gather momentum and playing with confidence is exactly what happens here. Yeah, even Bondic gets tagged up quite heavy. Still holds their ground. They don't lose a lot to that eco at all. Only 1 player drops. Infinite Gaming, I guess for them, their main goal for where they sit right now to the end of the half is get to double digits and we'll do a good job.
Orb looking to take a close range engagement for Impulse, wins that first fight against Zoots. Chanky comes away with an SMG pick. Bondic can get Ragga to return here, and eventually Chanky's going to fall. That aggression to the CT side, punished by ONYX this time, as finally it looks like they found their rhythm here on T. Shots of Impulse not quite as great against Edom. Either way, he's one of 2 players left against 4 hungry T-side players.
I like that Impulse just gets out of there. Yeah, you can keep fighting. Is it necessary? No, not at all. Start the wrap in. Bondic's going to be able to get the eyes out into this donut entrance. May get picked off into the prospect, but for Cementi, he's so passive on A. What can he really do from here?
Smoke on, bomb plant. He's stuck here pretty effective. Cementi will try, look to deny, sees his man. Sees him a second time and still can't find the frags back. Eden, meanwhile, attacking out towards the CT spawn. The flashes in towards Temple at the entrance. And the Orb looking for a gap, not being seen. Secondary flashbang continues to keep him blinded. He starts walking up towards lane. They do catch Impulse. Look upstairs towards the back of Plat. Edom. Surely he hears the footsteps. Now he knows. He knows where they're at. Can he get the kills in time? He's got no kit for it, though. 1v1. Knows where Dav is. Takes that shot in. Takes a lot of damage for his trouble. And ultimately loses his life.
And these retakes have come through very successfully in the past, and that one right there you thought was going to be the same sort of magic coming through. A lot of damage being done, good kills being found. Cementi just trying to work out from that donut position. Edom getting it back to a 1v1 without that kit, though. Even drawing into the fight, even if he wins that, he's not going to get back onto that bomb. And ONYX, now they're starting to string rounds together.
Flashes in JR. They're going to swing out all 5 players alive here from the mid position. They will catch that first frag, and quickly ONYX will realize it's got to be a mid stack. AKN for Ragga, will it convert into a retake? Will they try their hand at this? Well, DMK is already going to cut off those rotation positions, so it's unlikely.
Yeah, you'd have to think so. Can even get that deep smoke down, work with the information, flash over the top, they get another pick. This looks decent.
On top might drive him away, and the York lands a good kill on Impulse. Chanky can still respond to a 2 versus 2 AK picked up. DMK can shut it back down, and now Ragga left alone. 1-on-2 scenario. Herd there burning away back towards the other lane. And Ragga wins that next fight. 1-on-1 now. Sees where the last player is. Whoa! Oh, he's got the headshot! Ragga with an eco clutch. 3 to his name. And Infinite make it up to 10.
What? How do they win that round? He's so low on HP when he peeks back forward onto Dav. They've got USPs, Jay! What is happening?
Oh, the spray from Dav is so awkward. Just a little bit further to the right, thinking he might have gone with some jiggles, thinking he might have tried to bait out the kill, but no, full sent in. And another tactical timeout for ONYX. Recognizing the disaster this has been, they finally started to get it together, Dweg. They finally started to look good, and then that happens. An eco win. And it might be the half win at 11-4 for Infinite.
Well, you'd have to imagine that in terms of the tilt factor, a team like ONYX probably don't get affected that heavily, only because these guys are an older team. They don't have those guys that could just tilt off the face of the earth and keep composed, because in a round like that, you're going to start getting annoyed, and you're going to start getting frustrated, because that should have never happened. Even Dav in that 1v1 had so many advantages to work with. It goes the other way, got to push past it and look into round 15.
Quick out of the gate here for ONYX. Fast plays into the site. AWP has so many players to find alongside Zoots and Eden. Players past him here. Raggar's going to get caught off guard by Bondi, but the trades are very quick for the CT side. Impulse with all kills of his own right. Gets two, but no further than that. And indeed, Infinite will close out the half. 11-4 up. What a half for them, and what a map this has been thus far.
And they've put on a very good showing. And for Infinite, they haven't dropped a map the entire journey here. They played Fiend in that first opening best of one when it came to the Eastern European qualifier. They then played the new Blue Jay side, got that in a 2-0, and then Nexus in that upper bracket final. Coming through with a lot of momentum into the main event itself. And honestly, their Ancients looking very solid. Infinite making a good name for themselves.
They are. They really are. I'm impressed, really, because I looked at its map up and I looked at the stats on it, and you know, usually when we see a blowout CT half, we usually say, okay, it's CT side on Ancient, because the number of comebacks we've seen on this second half of things could really be incountable here. Come back to that point in a second, because the T's are going to make their way very quickly. Infinite want to get this pistol round under their wraps and get a very confident start to the second half. Try and carry momentum forward here. The bomb can go down. The CTs are trying to suppress.
Just spamming through those smokes, haven't really found any connections at all. There's actually a backstab to the CT Spawn. Look at this from Raggar.
They have no idea. You see Dav tap him up, get that opening kill, look back towards lane, make it a double. Impulse and Dimk can trade it back, 3-on-3 scenario. Continue looking alongside Zoots P250. Swings up, sees tags, sees heads, can't catch them. Finally gets Impulse. Dimk responding with a 2K, making it no more than that. All on Bondic, CZ, no Kevlar, no kit. Taps the bomb once, looks for Cementi. Can't even get that frag, and it's an all-important pistol for Infinite.
Just what they needed, and that backstab, while it didn't win the round immediately, it gave them the good advantages to start working forward. Raggar with the trigger discipline, being able to find a couple of kills, and ONYX just not quite being able to find the rest of the kills to get back onto that site, get that bomb defused. Bondic in the 1v2 situation, a lot of damage coming through with that CZ, not enough to get it over. 12 on the board for the Romanians. They are 4 rounds away from winning this map.
And again, on Ancient, on ONYX map pick, already a pistol going to shut down potential of a CT comeback, which I already see as being potentially not even that viable. The better half for ONYX is actually T-side, interestingly enough. They have had better T-halves on Ancient. Still possible they could bring this back from the brink, but having lost that pistol now, about to lose this conversion, it puts a lot of potential in the hands of Infinite.
And they're just waiting for further aggression. They know 4v3 advantage, so much time left on the clock. CTs are going to look for more fights. And for Dimk, he's got himself in a grand position. Aggressive out from A main. He's got to get at least a couple of kills. He gets a 1-for-1. It doesn't help because rotations are going to be slow.
Walks up, Dimk finds a frag. Trade involved for Cementi, very quick. All an impulse, the scout set to the back lines. These 1-5 premature. Gets killed off by Zoots. Bondic, no chance in hell.
You can't imagine so. And even for him, what's he saving? CZ and Mach 10 into the next round. The head Kevlar and the HG. There's something. Infinite Gaming really coming out of the blocks and swinging. And coming hungry. Looking for absolute decimation. And, well, they found it. ONYX, this is a poor showing from them, and it's a very huge surprise when you think about how far they've come since coming out of the player break, the players they've got on this team. And for Infinite, for the longest time, we keep talking about it, it's always been Nexus in the Romanian scene. There's never really been that second team to look at and go, oh, they've got something special here. Infinite are starting to prove that, hang on a minute, we've been starting to prove that for a while.
You got to think as well, like, these guys are part of the power shift, essentially. Like, it was always Nexus being the best team from this region. Infinite had to beat them to get here. We've seen Infinite playing a lot higher competitions and getting better results in the international stage. And these guys went pretty deep in the IEM qualifier. We mentioned that before. Here against ONYX, they could put them into a very early back foot in terms of the tournament in the grand scale of things. Flashes over, AKs in towards main. Zoots will try to lead that charge up to the A site. And there really is no one here to defend. The smokes are going to come in with a set piece. And it should just be a simple plant. Maybe a retake on for the pistols. But it's unlikely it even comes to fruition.
I'd have to imagine so. HG can go into the site, do some mass damage. As long as they don't get farmed by the Mach 10, the result of this round doesn't really matter at all for ONYX.
Yeah, no. You're 14th to the board of Infinite. Chanky just going to wait back here at the T side of the map. Does lose his life, and a Galil that can go the way of ONYX. Not like it would matter too much. I imagine he gets upgraded to an M4 anyway. Money is going to be a non-issue for ONYX. They're going to have to force the issue every single time because being 10 rounds down, being this close to map points, ONYX need to just find something absolutely ridiculous to try and bring this back.
And they need to start now. They're in a huge deficit. Think he might even be able to do some further damage. So there's a Galil being saved in. There's the Mach 10 for Bondic, and there's a couple of kills that come through from that. All in all, that's decent.
Again, the primary focus is going to be all about that next gun round, though. And the fact they removed those Galils from play means that there's no bonus in from Infinite. They've got the straight AKs and AWP across the board. It does mean it'll be difficult to get a rebuy in the next round if ONYX can win it, but the issue is that ONYX have actually got to win it against the full-blown guns with no AWP of their own to back it up. They don't save those Galils. They keep the M4s and the AUG on the rebuy. Darting spray suppressed by smoke. T-side players trying to bait in ONYX to make a mistake.
Bondic wallbang coming through. That's some decent damage. That's a start. Resmoke going down to make sure that there's no continued follow-up. He's going to wallbang it again. Oh, he's getting close.
Dangerously close to that.
Oh, he's got them all.
Third attempt towards the other side. This is really cool stuff. Keep your eyes on him in this round because he's clearly done his homework. Again, ONYX very good on this map, probably for good reason. They are not firing through that smoke either. The T-side players will make their way in towards Donut and start the A-split.
Now, Dimkey's got to be careful that he doesn't just get caught off by these Rap and Donut players with the distraction being pulled out from main.
Smoke's off on main. May's involved past Temple, gets ahead of the curb. Not seeing the smoke out towards Donut, so may not be aware of this. He should be aware right now. Molotov coming in, looks towards his position, takes the partner towards 1 and 2 and lines them up. All important when Zoot's being so low. Adjustment towards Ragga, not quite able to get that 4th kill, but he's done enough here. It's a 4v2 for ONYX.
Oh, what a hold coming through from Dimkey. Okay, Edom does answer back. Dav on the site's going to be able to find the trade, and Zoots is so low with this AWP. Time is low. It really needs to be able to find all of these picks, try and get the bomb down. Shouldn't happen at all. Swing comes out, and that AWP is going to get recovered. At least it can do if the CTs want it. Impulse is going to pick that up. And honestly, if they didn't put that molly forward, I don't think Dimkey checks Donut. I don't think he looks over to that left-hand side. As soon as they use that one piece of util, look what he was able to do with it.
Yeah, he was so caught unawares. Just assumed that smoke had gone down to that position, assuming that Infinite were going to pour out a main. Had they not used the util, then it could have been a different story and easy kills to come their way, and that probably could be map point for Infinite. They've still got a 9-round lead here. But the force back involved in a Mach 10 and a Galil out once again. There's one player without a head Kevlar, so those are going to be main points of Ceminti and Chanky. Everybody else with the AKs, they've got to dish out the damage here.
Yeah, Bondic just spraying away. They've got JR pressed up aggressively out from mid. Haven't really seen this angle being held all too much over the course of this map so far. Zoot's just hoping for aggression, and for Bondic, he's done a lot of spam attempts. He's never pushed forward with that smoke, however. Oh my goodness.
Great shot. JR gets another kill back onto Ceminti, so 5 versus 3, ONYX. One of their picks back and finally starting to look like a team that we expected to see throughout the course of the entire matchup. One pick back on Fragga is going to leave him at low HP as well. Someone's got to go back for the bomb. The CTs are still heavy stack on B.
This walk-up into Candles could be everything. Impulse may actually have started repositioning, looking at those backlines. Time is relatively low. They've got to get a move on into the B split.
There are backstab available. The CTs are watching it, so they're expecting that there might be a case. Ragga's going to be so careful. Smokes back down instead. Pressure to the back lines allows that player to sneak forward because all their attention has now been drawn towards the main site. Hit 15 seconds. AWP turned away from, does deal with Ragga. That's all important. Turn back. Shanky left alone here as his teammates have dropped, and Bondic will take him out the same.
A good read from Impulse, just making sure that even though he relocates, even though it doesn't seem as if he's holding that angle for the majority of that round, that at some point, he's just constantly checking, just looking at the backlines, hearing those sound cues, knowing that Raggar's going to be coming in, and Bondic just peeking on the contact of his teammates, getting ONYX up to 6. Infinite Gaming going to be on a clock round.
Very fast round into that here. Glock's coming straight out towards main. Dimk going to pop out of smoke. Engage on the first player, and the second. Kills can come back for the T side. The AWP continues watching. Did spot one player. Sees that bomb crossing as well. AK engaged. Eden with an M4 in his hands. Probably can go down to the nade here, or the face in from Bonnet will get this kill shot on the spray. 2 players left to go. 1 man left in Cementing now. That is that one frag at least. Can grab that AK and probably save it here. That might be the best bet given the circumstances. Eco to pick up a 3 rifle and to get a bomb plant. Going for a bit more to try win the round. Unfortunately, that's not going to work out for him. And ONYX will find 7.
They're just trying to keep the economy low, get another pick in, try and see if there could be a reset potential. So they don't save onto that weapon. It's still, you're doing a fair bit of damage. Get a couple of kills, get a bomb plant. And you now start wondering, when are they going to close? Because they've been on 14 for some rounds now. And for ONYX, the difficult factor with them is that Infinite are up to 14. No matter how well you play on this CT side, one round as a mistake is going to give him 15.
One more round after that will give him the map. ONYX to lose their map pick again to emphasize how important this scenario is. Plays up initially towards that mid control on the part of Zoots. Hearing footsteps, going to try and catch off Dimke if at all possible. Dimke's going to watch his eyes out for this position. East-side presence held here. How long does Zoots wait?
How long does Dimke wait? Because for both these players, you'd have to imagine someone's going to make the play, and someone's going to have to start stepping forward. Even the Org on rotation's looking out for the back lines.
Counter utility in towards the A side, meanwhile, attention has been drawn. B's kind of open up from ramp here. Zoots has got a strike on that pretty effectively, pretty quickly, unless he turns his attention back. Now there can be a backstab coming in from the T-side players. Zoots is not going to be aware of this. Wraparounds as Tranky works up. Infinite making some noise out towards lane. Can they make enough to get an execution together? Cementi's going to get caught out towards mid, so that throws the entire read off.
That's good information. Just a walk forward. AWP could get caught off. No, actually catches Zoots, and now they can start focusing the attention on B.
Eden finds a pick, checking out the corners, checking out the back lines, but other than that one player, the B site was pretty open and pretty scarce on defense. Impulse. Warp leaning up, sees one. JL gets his kill. Raggar with a responsive. AK can get a second kill as well. 2v2 making it 1. The spray to the third man makes it a triple overall. M4 back out can catch him. See that second player as well. Bondic on for the clutch. Oh, he chops in. Gets a headshot and all. And keeps ONYX alive.
Mate, I don't know if he was still in midair or he just landed and that kill came through, but he jumped forward and just domed him. What a 1v2 coming through. And you've got to imagine that for ONYX, they've got to be hyped about that one. Yeah, you might be disappointed knowing how much damage came through, but knowing how important that clutch was.
That was stupid. Absolutely stupid. Bondic. I don't know how he comes away with that. I don't know how ONYX get away with that round. That should have been Infinite's. Raggar did so much. It's the bomb plant can enable the buyback here for the T side, and they're going to wear down the economy state with a double up reinvestment from ONYX.
Great nade coming down onto that lane position. Tag and Raggar up quite heavily to start the round off. Even a walk up to the edge of that ram smoke. And Davos expecting it, catching off Eden.
Nades back onto Bondic, doing some damage towards that man, but Infinite have lost that opening kill. Sprays through on JR, get Zoots Chanky. Walk up to the AWP's position, the AK trying to look over. And a slight hit giving up towards Impulse. 2 now left here for Infinite. ONYX. And making his rounds look simple now against Infinite Gaming.
They're getting comfortable. All people peeking back in from mid. Cementi will get a trade back. There's a backstab in. JR doesn't need to commit to the fight, so he does lose that org. There is that backstab coming through out from elbow. So more rifles can be saved in. Bondic and Dimke with the AKs. Dav with the AWP. If they want, they can get another double orb set up back in for Impulse.
About to say, when the Infinite call in a tactical timeout here, and this is the moment. ONYX had one before the end of the last half. Infinite have one as we approach the end of the map itself. Again, they are still only a couple rounds away from taking this map pick of ONYX. The comeback has come together for the CT side. Do Infinite have a way back? Do they have those 2 rounds in them? This round might not be one of them. It's a half buy with Tech 9s.
Yeah, they've just got to close. And for Infinite, we know that they've got the style. We know that they've got the capabilities of winning Ancient. They've just got to try and be able to get over that mental barrier. ONYX, they have just started to really get involved in this game, and it's looking like they're switched on now.
Bash in or about for Dav, going to try to stop them. Making their way out of the hard fast rush with the pistol. Shots in of Dav does get traded back by Zoots. Bomb plant can be secured. I say that, and ONYX just blind fires through that smoke. Bondic kill onto the man. Chanky now in a 1v3.
He's going to aggress rather than just trying to get that bomb plant in. Dimky on the other side. So a couple of players do fall. Be able to recover those double orbs again rather than reinvesting it. Otherwise, that's just going to keep hammering the economy. And chuck that back over to Dav and Impulse. And honestly, both of the Orbers, they haven't got a massive amount of kills between them. They're not missing a lot.
Four rounds the difference. Actions worthy. Big greens out again for 3 players. Raga set with his AWP towards the main entrance. There is one CT that has aggressed and Dimke, backed up by the AWP of Impulse himself. Back of the site, seeing nothing over towards the B side. Do ONYX start to piece together some information?
I haven't really seen the split play into A, and no donut player at all allows the wart to come forward. Dimke's expecting this.
Menti just gets caught off guard. 2 more players peek him, could have lined up right there. Eden fortunately gets the kill. Impulse sent with the AWP. Flick onto the first man. Gets a frag and a second. Leans in for the triple. Oh, Impulse wins every single fight except against Raga. But being the lone man standing, the AWP of the CT side has done his work. The AWP of Dav can finish the job as ONYX find 11.
Oh my goodness, ONYX are really bringing this back. They have got 7 rounds in a row now on this CT basis. And when you looked at that sequence to Impulse, you think, oh, he's going to find that first pick. He's just going to fall back. He just kept double dipping. He kept wanting more, and he got more.
To think as well, I counted out even the CT comeback from this team. I'm never going to do that again, Blake. ONYX really are making this as close as they possibly can. Set in with a utility out, AWP in for Impulse, gets the kill on Zoots. Nice opening start again against the pistol rush out. M4 of Dimke back in the backlines turns a USP into a triple, and 1 man left in Eden as the CTs have vacated Temple. His Deagle surely should get overwhelmed. Look at the number of CT players he's got to find, and all peeking him at the exact same time. ONYX seals the deal. And now 2 to go for ONYX to catch up to Infinite.
Oh, who would have thought that this comeback would have come in this sort of way when you're down 11-4 at the half and you lose pistol and you lose the anti-force buy? You can pretty much kiss goodbye of that map, whether it's your map pick or not. Another tactical rolling through. Infinite Gaming, the only rounds that I kind of look at as being relatively close was when they had the 2v1 up against Bondic and lost it.
And that round, had it gone a different way, possibly could be leaving us to the match point, and ONYX trying to grind back to OT. Even at this point, it might still feel like a pipe dream. Infinite really, really need to get this back together, else ONYX will win out a hell of a map and a hell of a comeback. AK's in, AWP out for Raga. Double orb still staying in for ONYX's part. Infinite with the flashbangs over as Edom takes his face in, looking for Bondic, gets his kill, opens up the start out, looks for the AWP as well as Dav, gets his shot in, barely even registering the player, but finds a response for ONYX.
Oh, JR's pushing forward out from lane and they don't expect it at all, and he even gets out of there alive. There's no way for a trade back, and just when Infinite find the first kill, what happens? 2 responsives.
3v4 favor to ONYX. Aggression is Infinite leave their back lines unchecked. They don't keep their bases covered. ONYX can exploit that, continue to try and look for these rounds. Smoke's down. The CTs fall back and Infinite start the push to B.
Even Dav, is he going to get flashed off angle? Some of the util going down to the B site execution. It's going to come down to JR. He's just falling back.
Spray through. Catches nothing. Does get tagged up and forced back away. Nades on towards that K position. The bomb should get planted in the open. The AWP-5 is blind for that smoke. Open plant position. Spray through towards Wood. Will do some damage, but again, no kills against the T-side line.
That molly not quite going all the way, and Cementi still in the back line is actually going to find that pick as the smoke blooms.
Barely even spotted him, but Dav goes down regardless. Ought to look to pre-fire and blind fire against him. Cementi getting tagged up so heavily. JR hears him. Chanky can come forward with support here out of round. Dimke with a trade back, 2v2. Backup coming in towards Cave. Dimke's won it against him as well. Cementi still known. Tagged up, dealt with. Dimke makes it 3 kills and makes it 13 for ONYX.
Oh, Dimke is putting on a performance. My goodness, 29 kills to the man. And this is another round in which you look for Infinite and think, you've got to close. They've got themselves a 3v2 advantage. And Dimke, the pick into Cave, mate. Look at this crosshair placement. The Tech-9 spamming through. He loses his teammate of Impulse. Another clutch coming forward. And ONYX, they keep the streak alive.
One more round to even up. Infinite buying back off the bomb plant bonus. But what a comeback this has been. Infinite. Are they really about to bottle it after such a ridiculous first half? After a 14-4. Are they really about to allow ONYX to hold this contention? Smoke set up. Mid control looks to get gained.
They just need to make a play, get an opening man advantage, and out to the mid default. A lot of respect is being given. ONYX aggressing out for the wallbang. Zoots aggresses and misses out the bullets.
Sees where that wallbang position is. Going to avoid it now. Probably figure out that lineup as the match goes on here for Infinite. JR opens up with a kill on Ragga though. Pride found, adjusting towards Chanky. Not expecting him to be so close. Eden's been tagged as well, down to just 3 points of HP. Dimke does fall to Zoots in the end. The trade out towards Donut. Unscope for Impulse. Can still scope back in and find Eden. Look towards main. Is there a trade available? JR coming in here. And Zoots can catch off Impulse. So JR will be the lone player left. The backstab, the wraparound from Chanky could convert in upon him. They're going to grain the A site at least. The kill out easy. Walk in. Get the plant in. Do ONYX go for this 2v3?
Yeah, might as well have a crack at it. Money's still there, so they're going to be able to buy into the next round. Dimke just pressing forward out from Donut, giving up the advantage, and Daff and Bonnig have now got to try and bring back a 2v3.
Sees one. Contact gain, smoke back, flash over. Pressure involved to keep Dav at base. Sees where that bomb is, how open it is. Chanky does fall towards Bondig. All important kill now. Flash in, sees the next player out. Dav continues facing, 10 seconds to the bomb, defuse, shuts to the shot. Now looking for the last man, taps it once. Where's Cementi? Not going to peek. Not going to peek. Dav needs that kill desperately. He's out of time. He's out of time. Cementi will win it and hold Infinite at that point at last.
Oh, they get there. They get there when it matters the most. They end the streak 9 rounds in a row, not quite the 10th. Impulse just trying to hold for as long as he can, out from the back of the site. It was the wraparound play. JR getting pulled for a loop and not continuing to hold that line, allowed that wrap in. Zoots finding 3 kills, and Infinite finally getting to 15.
Tactical pause for Infinite again, a third. Called for them. And appropriate because they need it right now, Dweg. Now is the time. Hold confidence and hold this game in the palm of your hands. Now to close it and wrap it up against ONYX and finally take the ONYX map pick.
Now, you've got to imagine, though, for the Serbians, they're not going to let this go down easy. They've got so many rounds in a row that now the break of 1, 2 more to go to get to OT. It's not impossible.
How much momentum they got towards their name as well. You can imagine it's very, very likely. Dimke finds Zoots. Kicks things off on the right foot out towards that mid control in the midst of the smoke being blind as bats. Last casualty taken. And the teams play passive.
Oh, I like that they have the confidence to make that kind of play. Just when they lose the last, rather than just playing back passive, they actually look to take an opening fight. And JR, he's still aggressive on an off angle out in Donut.
Watching carefully. Patient as ever. Mo walks in from Infinite. Will get themselves out towards that Donut entrance. Flash forward, Edom. Peeking alongside Raga as JR sees contact, sees several. Tagged up as Chanky wins out his fight. 4v4 Infinite back to evens.
Now, you'd have to imagine it's got to be a split into A. They don't have any lane control. Bondic getting flashed in, hearing the footsteps of Raga. They know that he's aggressed forward. The NWP can't hit out the shot. They don't know there's another CT there, so the trade comes back, and that bomb's going back into lane. That could be going over to B.
If Edom can cut off the likes of Bondic, that could be enough to just dismantle the entire B defensive. But he gets back here very quickly. Edom's going to cut off rotations. Bondic falls. Fast rotate back in. Dimk going to check this corner. Edom drops anyway. 2v2. Infinite touching distance from this as flashes over. 35 seconds to the map win. ONYX trying to stay alive in this. It might come down to the last few seconds of the round. Scopes in. Going to provide support for Dimk. His way up, Chanky, Khalil out towards Cave, being suppressed. Bomb's not in the open for him. He's going to have to rely on his teammate over towards Ramp. Dimk takes swing, Khalil takes his fight, Impulse wins it. Signal to defuse, check out the ramp control, check out the ramp position, Impulse! He gets his two, and ONYX hold on to the lifeline!
What a flick! He's not even looking at Ramp. He's got a flick all the way back over 90 degrees to that Ramp entrance as that bomb's getting stuck. That looked like that was the round. That was theirs for the taking. Oh my goodness, they overwhelm over on that B site. And they've got a 3-on-2 advantage. It goes back to a 2v2. This flick for the orb, flicking back over. Jeez, what a shot!
Give me his POV on that one. I want to see it. Zoots gonna win this first fight on Bondic has already gone down. Another start for ONYX. Infinite could concede the OT. What a ton of events this has been. Raga can respond to JR, so there is responses back for Infinite. 4-on-4. ONYX trading weapons and repositioning.
Yeah, don't see Bondic on the AWP very often at all. And now with the rotates getting caught off in CT, the A defender falls.
Smokes up, backstab in. Ooh, footsteps heard. When does Edom strike? Impulse making his way up here. Nades on, sprays through. Dav gets caught. 2 left for ONYX. Is there a recovery in this one? I don't know if there is. Sprays back, Impulse holds, and the AWP, all that remains. Edom looking to backstab against the man, and that's exactly what he'll do. 16-14, it will be the win for Infinite, as ONYX will concede their map pick.